how to do it on the machine. I'm going to demonstrate on the Hunter. It's very, very similar on the coats. Move out of the way for just, actually we'll move down to this one so we're not right in the way of them. All right. So, the very first thing, go, get that little red and white handle screwdriver thing on the top. All right. This is your best friend. You will want to buy one of these. I actually don't suggest buying this one because this is the most cheapest basic one. There's ones at like AutoZone, you can get them at Summit, they're made by the company Slime, you know, the same people make the green crap. We're going to talk about why we don't like that in tires. But the reason why they're good is they have a preset torque. Why does the preset torque matter? Because these are actually, if you get a tire with a TPMS sensor, and we'll talk about that today, and you have something, you over torque it, you tighten it in, you can actually break the valve stem. You break the core in the stem, your TPMS sensor is shot. The customer now needs to buy a $30 sensor, or you need to buy the customer a $30 sensor. Sucks if you got 4 of them and you do it to all 4. You now just wasted 120 bucks. All right, so very first thing we do with a tire, and this is exactly what you guys are going to be doing. It's going to take me a lot longer than 3 minutes because I'm showing you. But there's the stem. The core is the part on the inside. You'll feel this fits in and you pull the core right out. Don't lose it. Put it somewhere you're going to remember. Okay? Put that there. Now, we know the tire is losing its air. We're going to put it down here. We're going to use this, the shovel, to break the bead. Okay? Now, when you do this, come over here so you can see. Couple of things. The core needs to be at 6, or the valve stem rather needs to be at 6 or 12. This way, if it's a tire pressure monitoring system at TPMS, and you go to break the bead, you don't rip the sensor off. Okay? Now, what you're going to do is you're going to take your shovel. You see it goes like that and like that. You're trying to get it to line up. You want it to be as close to the rim without actually going on the rim. Then you're going to step on the pedal. Turn.
What pedal was that?
Right there.
The last one?
This one right here.
Okay. All right, I see it.
Now, you got to remember, you got to do it on both sides.
Both sides. Yeah.
If you notice, the whole point is I'm trying to make it so the bead's not sealed anymore.
Okay. You basically breaking a seal.
That's exactly what I'm doing. Now, that done, I'm going to throw the bad boy up here. You're going to see one pedal marked with arrows going out. That's the clamps.
Little pedal.
Tire's now tight to there. I'm going to move my arms out of the way for a minute, okay? This, see how that adjusts in and out? Okay? I'm going to get this to there. What I want, see how the duck, this is called a duck bill because it looks like a duck bill. Creative Bunch. Hit that little button. Now, do you see how it made it shoot back just a little bit. It did that so that when we're rotating, that's not scraping against somebody's rim.
Yeah.
All right? Now, you always got to be cognizant of where this is. Because again, it's got a sensor under it. I don't want to go jabbing and rip the sensor off. You're going to take your tire iron. Push down a little bit, get it in. Got the bill there. Now you push down on this side and pull on that at the same time. Why? Because this has to go down. Remember that low part in the rim called the drop well? That's what this side has to go in. That's how it has room to get pulled further over that way. Make sense? Now watch. That pedal with the rotation. Now, look what I did. I picked it up. I kind of pushed it in with my body a little bit. Take my iron. Go down. And now I got to pull up. Once you get a little bit of pressure on that side, this side will stay here. But look where this bead is down here. It's in that drop well. Do you see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. That's why I had to pull it up a little bit at first. Well, because if it's not in the drop well, it's going to get stretched. Now, same thing. Notice, I'm not rushing this. Learn something today. S&S class. We take our time to go fast. Because if you rush, you're going to make a mistake. If you make a mistake, now you got to go back, do more work, and fix the mistake you made. As opposed to just taking our time and methodically going through it. You will get speed. Why do you think I'm showing this today? Not only memory, but starting today, you're going to practice. As you practice and your body practices more and more and more, you'll get to a point you don't have to think about every step. Yeah. Your body almost will just know. That's why if you look at it today and go, oh, I got this, and you don't touch it again until December 5th, you are not going to make 3 minutes. The only way you're going to make 3 minutes is every day I say, okay, we got an hour, go out and practice. You're out here, practice, practice, practice. Now, you hear a weird noise. If you hear it stretch, you stop. You can go backwards with the pedal. I can show you how to do that. But get help. Because if you rip the bead, the tire's not going to seal and hold air. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Now, with this machine, there's a pedal here for the arm. I don't have to reset this. If I'm doing 4 tires that are all the same, at this point, all I got to do is hit the arm. Hey, it's up and out of my way. Old tire, new tire. Now,
So what arm you hit to release that drum again?
first pedal is for the arm. Now, one thing. With tires, you cannot overlube. You can underlube, but you cannot overlube. And lube is good. Most circumstances in life, that is a good rule to go by. Okay. Obviously, first of all, I'm going to read my tire and make sure it doesn't say outside or directional or rotational. Some tires have an outside and an inside. Sometimes customers will buy a tire and one side is a black wall, the letters are blacked out. The other side is a white wall, the letters are in white letter. You make sure if you got a tire like that, you ask the customer, do you want it white letters out or dark letters out? What way do you want it? There's nothing distinguishing here, so I don't got to worry about any of that. Hit the pedal. Whoa, the duckbill goes back in. Now, I've seen students sit here. These tires are easy tires. They'll sit there with their hand and try to do it. You probably can. If I see you doing that, I will not pass you on the practical. The point of the practical is you understand how to use the machine. Because when you get to a run flat tire, when you get to a low profile tire, you will not be able to muscle it down. It won't work, right? So the proper way, if you look, over, under. If you notice, when we were coming off, it was the opposite way. It was under, and I pulled it over. Right now, it's over, under.
Over and under.
A watt, right. Okay? Same thing, over, under. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to make sure, notice, my fingers are never like this. Why?
You're gonna get sweet.
Yeah, I would like to go home with all my fingers. So, you come over here, you have to, does that make sense?
Yeah.
You have to push it down right here and follow that. That way that's getting pulled into the drop well as it goes around. Now, we're going to move our arm out of the way. Now there's a pedal over here. You want to get the top bead seated first, if you can, and here's why. The machine, if you put your pedal halfway down, will just fill it with air. But if you stomp the air pedal, it does a big blast. That's to help seat the beads.
You put the stem back in?
Well, we didn't take the stem out on this one. We don't remove the stem because I'm not replacing a stem every time. Real world, yes. And I can show you how we would install a stem. But for what you need for the practical, you're not taking the stem out. Now, that's the regular fill, right? You heard that blast? Yeah. That's a bead seat blast. But it comes up from the bottom. So, now I'm going to watch my gauge here and I'm going to try to get it close to what I need. Most cars are about 30 to 35 PSI. So anywhere in there, I'm okay with. I'm not going to lie to you though. I don't trust this as the end all and end all. I would still have a little dial gauge or digital gauge and check it myself. This just lets me know I'm getting in the ballpark. Now, why do we do this without the core in? Why don't we put the core in first? The core is going to slow down how much air gets in there, which means if I need to fill it up to get that bead to pop, ain't going to happen if the core is in there. The other thing is, if I want to take 2 hours getting a tire done, then yeah, leave the core alone. Your service manager will also fire you, okay? What we're going to do is we do it. I know I'm relatively close. Undo the clamps. And there we go. And then all I would do is just make sure it gets filled. And then we would do a balancer. I will show you guys the balancer probably on Monday, okay? But that's the tire machine. Right? Do you guys want to practice for a little bit?
Yeah.
Okay.